The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the cargo bay doors opened. Every delegate's attention fixed on the massive creatures being led into the hall. 3 Varkash cubs, each already the size of a hover transport, their obsidian scales gleaming under the chamber's artificial lights. Ambassador Thelnox of the Zentari Collective rose from his seat, his 4 arms gesturing in alarm. This is madness. Varkash are apex predators. They've decimated 17 colony worlds. You bring their young before this council. The cubs' eyes, 6 per head, glowing amber, swept across the assembled delegates. Several representatives scrambled backward. The Varkash were legendary nightmares, creatures that hunted starships for sport and considered sentient beings merely another food source. These were juveniles, barely 6 months old, yet their presence radiated an aura of primal danger that made every instinct scream for escape. Then the human entered. She was unremarkable by galactic standards, average height, slight build, wearing a simple gray jumpsuit. Her identification badge read, Dr. Elizabeth Torres, Xenobiological Specialist. She carried no weapons, no restraints, no protection. The cubs' demeanor changed instantly. Their aggressive posturing vanished. The low-frequency growl that had been rattling the chamber's walls ceased. As one, all 3 cubs moved toward the human, their movements suddenly careful, almost delicate. They arranged themselves in a semicircle behind her, then sat, an action no one had ever witnessed from a Varkash before. Council members, Dr. Torres said, her voice calm and steady. I present evidence that demands we reconsider the extermination order against the Varkash species. She placed her hand on the nearest cub's scaled head. Not a single delegate could believe what they were seeing. The creature, capable of biting through starship hull plating, leaned into her touch like a domesticated pet. 3 months ago, I was part of the team studying Varkash attack patterns, Torres explained. We discovered something the military assessments missed. The Varkash weren't hunting us. They were defending their spawning grounds that our mining colonies had inadvertently built upon. Delegate Korvesh of the Militant Union scoffed. Defensive behavior? They attack without provocation. Without provocation, we recognize, Torres corrected. To a Varkash, electromagnetic pulses from our ships register as mating challenges from rival predators. Our construction equipment emits frequencies identical to their territorial warnings. We've been inadvertently declaring war in their language, and they've responded accordingly. She gestured to the cubs. These 3 were orphaned when we destroyed their den ship, thinking it was a battle cruiser. I've spent 90 days with them. Do you know what I learned? The chamber waited. Varkash cubs imprint on whoever feeds them first. It's an evolutionary adaptation. They're nomadic pack hunters who often adopt orphan young from decimated packs. They have complex social structures, mourn their dead, and pass knowledge through generations. Torres's voice grew passionate. They're not monsters. They're intelligent beings responding to what they perceive as an existential threat. One of the cubs made a soft chirping sound, impossible from creature known only for roars that could shatter stone. It pressed its massive head against Torres's shoulder. I've taught them our language markers, our peaceful gestures. They've taught me theirs. This, she indicated the cub's calm behavior, is what diplomacy looks like when we actually try. Chancellor Mordak leaned forward, his crystalline form refracting the light into rainbow patterns. You're suggesting negotiation with apex predators? I'm suggesting we recognize that humans were once apex predators too, Torres said quietly. We were feared, territorial, and aggressive. But we learned cooperation, diplomacy, civilization. The Varkash can too, if we give them the chance we were given. The largest cub stood, and the council tensed. But the creature simply moved closer to Torres, positioning itself between her and the delegates. Not threateningly, but protectively. They understand guard duty, Torres continued. Pack hierarchy, loyalty. These aren't the behaviors of mindless monsters. These are the foundations of society. The silence stretched as the council absorbed this. Finally, Mordax spoke. How did you earn their trust? Torres smiled slightly. I fed them, protected them when they were vulnerable, sang to them when they had nightmares. She paused. I treated them like children who'd lost everything, because that's what they are. The cubs sat peacefully beside their human guardian, and the council faced an uncomfortable truth. Perhaps the real test of civilization wasn't how you treated your equals, but how you treated those you feared that read Triclawed can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.